going to deal the ray theory transmission in optical fiber cable. Under this topic, we are going to learn ray optics, refractive indices, Snell's law, critical angle and total internal reflection. This total internal reflection is the basic principle behind the light propagation in optical fiber cable, and how many types of light rays, and what is the light gathering capacity of any optical fiber cable. How can we derive, how can we find the light gathering capability of optical fiber cable, that is acceptance angle and numerical aperture. These things we are going to learn in this lecture. If you see the light propagation in OFC, to explain the light propagation in optical fiber cable, there are two theories: ray theory of optics and wave theory of optics. By using these two theories, we can describe the light propagation in optical fiber cable. And now, in this lecture, we are going to deal the ray theory approach. Means the light signal propagation in the optical fiber cable that will be explained just by considering the light rays. And this ray theory approach is valid if and only if A by lambda is far greater than 1. What is A? A is the core radius. A is the core radius. You know very well, optical fiber cable consists of core medium, cladding medium and a protective sheet, and light is confined to the core medium only, and that core medium's radius is A, and lambda is the operating wavelength. So if operating wavelength of the light signal is far less than core radius, then only this ray theory approach is valid. And if you see the optical fiber dimensions, usually the core radius, it is in the range of 6 micrometers to 100 micrometers. The core dimensions are varying from 6 micrometers to 100 micrometers. And if you see the optical wavelengths are ranging from 700 nanometers to 1550 nanometer. 700 nanometer to 1550 nanometer. And while seeing electromagnetic spectrum itself, we have discussed for fiber optic communication we are using 800 nanometer to 700 nanometer wavelength ranges. So here it's around 700 nanometer to 1550 nanometer. And if you compare the wavelength of the light signal and the core radius, the wavelength of the light signal is far less than the core radius. So if this condition is satisfied, then only this ray theory approach can be valid. And now let us see what is ray theory. In this ray theory of optics, we are going to learn about what is reflection, what is refraction, what is the refractive index, and what is Snell's law. Reflection. Consider the mirror. If you look at the mirror and your image will be reflected back and you can visualize that one. And the refraction is nothing but bending of the light signal. What is the reason for bending of the light signal? That bending is because of the change in velocity of the light. So here let me ask you one question. What is the velocity of light? Generally we say that is 3 into 10 power 8 meters per second. Your answer is correct if the medium of propagation is free space. The velocity of light in free space is 3 into 10 power 8 meters per second, but the same velocity will not be maintained in some other medium like water. Suppose if the light ray is propagating through water medium, or if the light ray is propagating through the glass medium, or if the light ray is propagating through some other transparent medium. So here the velocities are different in different mediums. So here we have to say the velocity of the light signal varies depending on the medium of propagation, and the velocity of light in free space is 3 into 10 power 8 meters per second. So whenever the light velocity is changing, its direction also will be changed, right? And refractive index. So this refractive index will be defined for any medium in which the light ray is bending. Refractive index will be defined for a medium in which the light ray is being refracted. After learning about this refractive index, we will learn one of the basic optical laws, that is Snell's law. And then ray optics basic laws. So to explain the light propagation in optical fiber cable, there are three fundamental laws. First one is light in homogeneous media are straight lines. Suppose if the light signal is propagating in only one medium, so that light ray will propagate straightly. So the light ray will not undergo any kind of bending. Suppose if light is propagating in free space, always the light ray will follow the straight path. If the light ray is propagating in the water medium, then the light rays follow. If it is propagating in some glass medium, same medium, it follows the straight path. So if the medium of propagation is not changing, if the light ray is propagating in the single medium, then the light rays follow the straight path. And second one is law of reflection. Law of reflection. Suppose whenever the light ray is reflecting from the mirror or any other boundary between two media, let us consider two mediums. This is medium 1 and this is medium 2. Two mediums are there. So the light ray is propagating in between the mediums. Suppose, let us assume the light ray is traveling in medium 1 and it got reflected in the same medium. If the light ray is reflected in the same medium, then take this point as reference and draw a normal to the surface of separation. So this line is separating the two mediums, medium 1 and medium 2. This line is the surface of separation. With respect to this surface of separation, draw a normal, and if the light ray is reflecting in medium 1 and it is incidenting with an angle of incidence equal to I. With an angle of incidence equal to I. If it is reflected into the same medium, angle of reflection is equal to R. So in that particular case, angle of incidence is equal to the angle of refraction. If light ray is reflecting in the same medium, the angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. This is the second important law. And third one is Snell's law. So For this, you assume two mediums, medium 1 and medium 2. Draw the surface of separation between them, and whenever the light ray is traveling from one medium to another medium, then the light ray changes its direction. The light ray changes its direction. Draw the normal to the surface of separation. Assume the light ray is traveling from first medium towards the second medium. In the first medium, there is the incident light ray, which is maintaining an incidence angle is equal to I. And whenever the light ray enters into the second medium, then in the second medium, this light ray will be bent. This light ray will be bent, and it maintains an angle with respect to the normal, which is equal to R. Which is equal to R. So the light ray changes its direction whenever it enters into the second medium. So if there is a change in medium, then that causes the bending in the light signal. So that is the Snell's law. But here the condition is the light ray must not incident along the normal. The light ray must not incident along the normal. Snell's law states that whenever the light ray travels from one medium to another medium, then the light ray changes its direction, provided it is not incidenting along the normal. So by these three laws, law of homogeneity, law of reflection, and Snell's law, the light propagation in the optical fiber can be described. Next one, Snell's law. Snell's law. Already you know the statement for this Snell's law. So when the light ray travels from one medium to another medium, it changes its direction. It changes its direction. So if the direction changes, there is a fixed relation between angle of incidence and angle of refraction. If the direction changes, there is a fixed relation between angle of incidence and angle of refraction. So let us assume there are two mediums. First medium's refractive index is N1 and the second medium's refractive index is N2. The light ray is incidenting in the first medium, and this light ray is incidenting in the first medium, and it is maintaining, this incident ray is maintaining an incident angle which is theta 1, and whenever this light ray enters into the second medium, it changes its direction, and it is maintaining an angle theta 2 with respect to the normal. And now let us assume, and whenever the light ray is changing its direction, it maintains a fixed relation between incident angle and refractive angle. Let us assume another light ray. And this is maintaining an angle of incidence with respect to the normal to the surface, that is equal to some theta I2, and it changes its direction, and it will be refracted by maintaining another angle theta R2, and this is theta R2. And consider one more light ray whose angle of incidence is I3, and it maintains another angle of refraction, that is R3. So here for the first case, just assume angle of incidence is I1 and angle of incidence for the second case is I2. Angle of incidence for third ray is I3, right? Incident angles are I1, I2, I3, and the corresponding angle of refractions are R1, R2, and R3. Then it maintains a fixed relation, and that relation is sin I1 by sin R1 is equal to sin I2 by sin R2 is equal to sin I3 divided by sin R3. So sin I by I1 by sin R1 equal to sin R2 by sin I2 by sin R2 is equal to sin I3 by sin R3. This is a constant, and that constant is called as the refractive index of the medium. Which medium? There are two mediums. There are two mediums. The refractive index of the medium in which the light ray is bending. The refractive index of the medium in which there is the refracted ray. So here, whenever the light ray changes its direction, that maintains a fixed relation between angle of incidence and angle of refraction, and that relation is a ratio between sine of angle of incidence to the sine of angle of refraction, that is constant, which is called as the refractive index, and that is represented by n. And let us assume whenever the light ray is traveling between two mediums, and in first medium it is traveling with the velocity v1, and in the second medium the light ray travels with the velocity v2, because there is a change in refractive index, and then the refractive index is also equal to the ratio between the velocities. So this refractive index is equal to sin I by sin R. Refractive index is equal to sin I by sin R, that is equal to ratio between the velocities v1 by v2 also. So refractive index depends not only on the angle of incidence and the refractive angle, but also on the velocities of the light signal in which the light ray is propagating. And now you know very well the refractive index of the medium changes based on its density. So here for different mediums there are different refractive indices. If the refractive index is more, then that medium is the denser medium, and if the refractive index is less, that medium is the rarer medium. So here there are two cases we need to consider. In the first case we have to consider the light ray is traveling from denser medium to rarer medium, and second case you consider light ray is traveling from rarer medium to denser medium. Then how the light ray will be bent in those mediums for these particular conditions, we will see now. So let us assume there are two mediums, medium 1 and medium 2. Medium 1's refractive index is n1, medium 2's refractive index is n2. The light ray is traveling from first medium to second medium. So for the first case you assume first medium is the denser medium. First medium is the denser medium. So when do you say this is the denser medium? If n1 is greater than n2. If n1 is greater than n2, medium 1 is denser than medium 2. So light ray is traveling from denser medium to rarer medium. So in that case, in the denser medium, light ray travels with lesser velocity, and in the rarer medium, light ray travels with more velocity. Then in rarer medium, the light ray moves away from the normal. So if n1 is greater than n2 and light ray is traveling from denser medium to rarer medium, then light ray moves away from the normal. Light ray moves away from the normal, this one. So this is the normal to the surface of separation. This is the incident light ray. Refracted light ray moves away from the normal. And now consider another condition. Suppose if medium 1 is rarer medium, n1 is less than n2. If n1 is less than n2, medium 1 is the rarer medium. So here in this particular case, the light ray is traveling from rarer medium and then enters into the denser medium. So in rarer medium it moves with high velocity, and whenever it enters into the denser medium, its velocity will be decreased. So the light ray will be bent towards the normal. So if light ray travels from rarer to denser medium, the refracted light ray moves towards the normal, and if the light ray travels from denser medium to rarer medium, it moves away from the normal. So whether it is traveling from denser medium to rarer medium or rarer medium to denser medium, irrespective of that, it maintains a constant relation, that is n1 sin theta 1 is equal to n2 sin theta 2. So this is nothing but the Snell's law, that is sin I by sin r is equal to refractive index, the same thing. So what is the refractive index of first medium? Refractive index of the first medium is n1, and what is the corresponding angle of light ray with respect to the normal? That is theta 1. Its sign relation in the first medium. So n1 sin theta 1 is equal to refractive index of the second medium, that is n2, and what is the corresponding angle in the second medium? That is theta 2. So sin of theta 2, that is equal, the product of n1 sin theta 1 is equal to n2 sin theta 2, right? So this is the Snell's law, and this is equal to constant. This is equal to constant. And from this relation, we can get refractive index. Already I have explained this one. So let us consider this theta 1 is I. What is theta 1? Theta 1 is nothing but the incident angle. So in the previous slide, I have represented angle of incidence with the I. So I is theta 1 here, angle of incidence, and R is the angle of refraction. So the ratio sin I by sin R, this is equal to refractive index. So refractive index of which medium is defined? Refractive index of the medium in which the light ray is bending. In which medium the light ray is bending? In the second medium. So here refractive index of the second medium is defined with respect to the first medium. So here it is represented as n21. n21 means light refractive index of the second medium is defined. Suppose let us consider you want to define refractive index of a particular medium. So to define the refractive index of a given medium, you have to take one medium as the reference. So let us consider that reference medium is the free space, because the free space refractive index is 1. So suppose let us consider medium 1 is the free space. Let us consider medium 1 is free space, and medium 2, let us consider free space refractive index. This is n0, its value is equal to 1, and now medium 2's refractive index is n, and now we are trying to derive the expression for this n. Light ray is traveling from, for this one we have to consider light ray is traveling from free space to the medium. Whenever light ray is traveling from free space to the medium, so then in which medium the light ray is bending? The incidenting medium is the free space, the bending medium or the refracting medium is the n, whose refractive index is n. So in this particular case, according to Snell's law, refractive index of the free space, that is n0 into sine of corresponding angle in medium 1 with respect to the normal, that is theta 1, or for your comfort consider this as I. For your comfort consider this as I. So n naught sin I is equal to, in which medium the light ray is entering, whose refractive index equal to n, and the corresponding angle, let it be r. So sine of angle of refraction, this is the relation, n naught sin I is equal to n into sine r. So what is the value of n naught? Refractive index of free space, this is equal to 1. So the refractive index of the medium n is equal to sine I by sine r. So this is the refractive index of a given medium by taking free space as the reference. If the reference medium is changing, then we have to consider refractive index of that medium also. So this is how we can find the refractive index of the any medium. And what is the velocity of light in free space? Velocity of light in free space, that is 3 into 10 power 8 meters per second. So that is represented as c. Let us assume the velocity of light in free space is c and velocity of light in the medium is v. Then refractive index can also be expressed in terms of velocities, that is equal to c by v. So refractive index n is equal to ratio between the velocities c by v, or ratio between sine of angle of incidence to the sine of angle of refraction.